Game number 1, winner bracket semifinal, everybody. So, we got Battlefield of Eternity. As usual, all of the pre-banned heroes can be found down here. There's a Polish tournament that uses the META Madness rules, so it's a bit more of a community tournament. We still got some top players, obviously, since a surprising amount of the top players in Heroes of the Storm are actually Polish. And again, it's not a tournament that's like exclusively Polish. There's a couple of other players that are playing in teams, as you might have already noticed when you went through the players list. But I would say 98%, 95% of the players, something like that, is from Poland. So now that we're going into our best of 3 here in the winner bracket semifinal, this could of course still get quite interesting. I want to see what specifically Team Zaxi is now able to do. Team Voice had a very intense first round match. It went down to the wire. Map number 1. So yeah, we'll see what the team in red is now able to pull off here against their opponents. Blue team, definitely the favorite coming into this. But we had, for example, already earlier in one of the previous matches, we had some sniper comms that are still available for play. There's still a lot that you can actually pull off when you think about it. Now, there are, of course, tons and tons of pre-banned heroes, which makes a lot of the traditional compositions more difficult to play. But if you're going for, let's say, Varian, and you want to go for a sniper comp, there's just so many things that you can substitute at that point that you will always be able to get away with a decent lineup there. Talking about Varian, there he is already. So, the Prophet has spoken again. We get our Varian combo immediately in game number 1. And that is being countered by Arthur's on the other side. So, they're going to get some slows in. Arthur's going to be harder to blow up as well. Seems a little bit undecided. And, okay, we're going for Rhaegar. But you can, by the way, not see, because you have, obviously, the background overlay. Apparently, Harkness wanted to give everybody that is watching the draft a seizure, because while Rhaegar was, like, running down the timer, he was just switching his skins on Arthur's continuously. Not like, I want to see what this looks like and maybe decide. Not just like flipping them, and it just like went into your head and just blinked. So if somebody had a stroke there, then I can totally understand why. So anybody that has any kind of epilepsy would have struggled in that situation. Thankfully, I could power through it, so we're good. But we get Anna and we get Sul'jin. Okay, so now it gets interesting, because now you are in a spot where not only do you get potentially a nano-boosted Sul'jin, you could go for Guillotine. Sul'jin is not that bad against the Immortal either, but we could see some Guillotine plays in this. How likely is that? To be honest, not quite sure. But I find it interesting that Sul'jin is making such a fast appearance now in the series and gets drafted this quickly. You don't have to go for it. I mean, typically when you're talking about Sul'jin, you want to go, of course, for survivability and really keep him alive and just absolutely murder things. And on level 20, when you get the upgrade, I don't want to say it makes him unkillable, it's not really true, but like the sustainability that he gets is just incredible. So are they risking that by trying to go for those quick kills with Guillotine after a taunt lead-in? I mean, we'll find out. Reyna, lots of damage against the Immortal. We get Sonya as well. So in the damage department, they're not looking too bad. They have also the Lightning Shield from Rhaegar, another nice tool that they can use in that situation. And then we have on the red team side, we get our final 2 picks. That means we need a side laner, and very likely they're going to add a mage to this. Jaina. There we go. So you have the burst damage after a taunt from Varian. You can also use the nano boost now on Jaina. But we get Medivh. Oh, that's a little bit of an oversight, if you ask me, to not ban out Medivh if you're really going that heavily into that kill comp. They're probably assuming that they're going to be fine playing around the shield and just maybe go for Medivh himself and just, you know, play the cooldown battle. But this is a nice one, and it also mitigates some of the disadvantages that Arthas has. Well, ladies and gentlemen, map number 1, Team Voice against Team Zaxi. Team Zaxi on the left with the man himself, the captain on Reyna. We get Harkness on Arthas. Jimmy, by the way, with Exterminator as the level 1 choice. That one was pretty much a given. We got over on the left side now Harkness on Arthas. Akunis is playing Medivh. We got Shikish on Sonya and Al Dante on Rhaegar. Still one of my favorite nicknames, by the way. Al Dante. I don't know why, but it always makes me laugh. always makes me think of spaghetti. On the right side, Team Voice with Voice himself on Jaina. We get Arian on Chen, Mr. X on Ana, Halcon is playing Varian, and Makto is playing Suljin. Alrighty, let the games begin. It is party time over here. Yep, gonna get spicy quickly with Bone Slicer on level 1. Medivh stacking his baseline, popping some portals up. And Sonya is now the first one to rotate towards the top, whereas the red team has still maintained a 5-man at the bottom of the map for a bit longer. And Jimmy, of course, just like sitting there. And one of the funny things with the clash of IPs that you have in Heroes of the Storm, I wanted... Ah, God, I think there would have been so much potential from like cartoons, you know, when you have all of a sudden Jimmy coming in with like a machine gun or Tychus and just going up against someone like Barry and you're like, what the hell is happening here? Carbot probably did the best job with all of the videos that they provided over the years to give us a bit of fun on that, but I think Blizzard could have done some of it themselves too. So, very nice move at the top. That little gank nearly led to a kill. Sonya was able to get away. That's also some easy hits for Suljin, of course. Makto will have to try and get that baseline as high as possible so that they can start and really scale into the late game. One absolute crime with patches was, by the way, earlier this year, I think it was in February when we had a patch, that now you are just capped at 50 for Suljin. You want Axe always had like such a massive appeal because you could theoretically stack fully into the late game and end up with somebody that basically one-shots targets, but that's not the case anymore. So that Blizzard changed that, I don't like it. You can always make the argument, well, how many times you get to that point, but that's not really the crux of the argument here. It was just nice. It's just nice to sometimes have, you know, some of the quest talents that can stack infinitely, because you can always hope for this one game that lasts like 40 minutes where all of a sudden you become the absolute monster that you want to be. Arthur's rotating to the top, resulted with the help of Sonya, now in a kill on Chen. So, yeah, Xi Jinping is not going to be too happy about that one. Apparently, on the extinct species list, the panda is down. The panda is down, ladies and gentlemen. The panda is down. But he'll be back. And then we're going to see how that fight plays out. Now, as I said before, blue team likely the favorite heading into this. And decent stacks now also for Medivh, so that's actually a very quick development for him. Early on, not too many that we got there, but the last 1-2 team fights allowed Medivh to get a lot on level on his baseline. So with the first Immortal now spawning in a few more seconds, is obviously another thing to really keep an eye out for. And let's see how hard they can go on this one. Who's going to claim it? We have for now Team Voice with the initial start at least, but Jimmy is now doing his thing and he should do pretty well there. That level 1 talent is an absolute menace when it comes to the objective on Battlefield of Eternity. And he is more or less single-handedly doing the work here. So the blue team, they are actually losing out on the halftime show. Still pushing at the bottom of the map a bit further, on the other hand. So yeah, they're trying to be aggressive here. So far it is actually working. But Sonya, yeah, had to jump back out. Down at the bottom of the map now. Or not at the bottom, but we have the next attack already coming in for the Immortal. It's gonna be a really tight one. I mean, damn, Suljin gone. Jimmy, yeah, he gets stunned out once the attacks. Oh, somebody needs to do the damage. And it's gonna be Sonya. Sonya is able to win it for the blue team, but boy was that close. And now Chen is not gonna make it. He will die. He was sacrificing himself to try and create some space so that his own team could win the Immortal. Kinda failed at it, wasn't able to pull it off, but still a decent effort. But of course, losing him now is also making the defense so much harder. Because now we have the full 4-man pushing at the top, excluding Sonya, of course, who's still sitting at the bottom of the map, trying to push for the bot lane forward. Medivh has also completed his quest, so that's another big advantage now that Team Zaxi have. That's great for him. Medivh, with a completed quest, has such a huge impact, and accomplishing this 4 minutes and 30 into the game just means that for the remainder of the map, you have a really nice advantage. You can already tell that even in experience, they are massively ahead. I mean, there's more than the 1-level lead that we're talking about. So, they're doing extremely well. Team Voice, struggling a bit here. Suljin also not a lot of stacks on level 1. He's only sitting at 5 now. And damn, they went for Chen at the bottom of the map and they were able to take him on. So Chen gone, and that means that they can immediately move on to the fort and take this one out. So yeah, Chen getting caught, the fort getting destroyed, but they also have to make sure that they're defending their own, because up at the top, the red team has simply realized, well, we can't go down to the bottom of the map and try and defend this. So how about instead we're just moving in and try and do some damage ourselves. And so far it is working okay-ish. So yeah, still the defense attempt here. And of course, once more, also the move now for Magdo, for Suljin. Sitting at 5 stacks only. That's the problem with Arthas. Once that Arthas gets into your midst, you can't run away from this any longer. That's one of the reasons why having Medivh here is just so good for Arthas, because not only can he get out of a fight, he doesn't have a gap closer, he doesn't have an escape tool. But if you have a portal, he can just close the gap like this, because Akunis is going to provide portal after portal, and that allowed them to chase them down fully. So now not only have they been able to take down Suljin, they destroyed Varian, Jaina, and then the fort, meaning they have a 2-level advantage. 7 kills to 0, heroic abilities too, and phew, that is something. Yeah, they are doing extremely well, just waiting for the next Immortal, and this should be 100% on the shield. Maybe someone from Team Boys can just sneak in and get 1 or 2 abilities off, but essentially it's 100% shield, for sure. And then since there's no fort left either, that bad boy is going to march straight for the keep. 101 stacks for Arthas. They want the camp as well. Yeah, and there's absolutely no way that the red team is able to bridge the gap in experience and gets level 10 so that they can make their own moves. It's just not happening. So, from that perspective, it is a disaster. Aryan is slowly moving out too. They've already now taken their own camp, so now they're attempting to take the Immortal. Half a level for Team Boys to get to level 10. They're really trying. But they're also running out of blue team minions that they can easily take, so they have to venture pretty far into the map in order to get there. So here's the 100% shield, and now they're gonna push through the bottom of the map. But because of the camp, Sonya has to actually go towards the top. So, yeah, that's a bit of a weird one, because now they are down here with level 10s. Chen also rotating topside, though. So this is a 4-man defense at the bottom of the map. Hyperion gets used immediately, so they're attempting to do a ton of damage before the opponent is even able to properly defend here. Ults are being locked in, and there's Guillotine. They actually go for the Guillotine play. They're trying Variant Taunt with possibly nano-boosted Guillotine, and that's not too bad. But I mean, look how quickly this bottom keep is falling. We're 8 minutes into the game, and that Immortal does work. And the ley line is slowing them down even further. So now the poke just continues massively, and it is looking pretty darn good for Team Zaxi. They might not get that keep. It's going to be close. If they move in with a few auto attacks, they're going to get it for sure, and they do. So yeah, keep's gone. And they're so close to level 13, of course, as well. So the keep is destroyed. Only 1 keep still standing. And yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough nut to crack for the red team. They're definitely having some problems here. And I don't really envy them the situation that they currently find themselves in. So once more, we're going for Chen here, apparently in the back line. He starts jumping out. The camp already claimed. Red team was interested to force a fight before the opponent has level 13 talents, but well, that's exactly what's happening right now. Maybe with the cooldown back on Medivh, they can start a portal up on Chen, and they do. So now Chen is gone. 8 kills to 0. Not even a single kill by Team Boys yet. Yeah. And to make matters worse, it's not like Suljin is ready for the late game, right? We're not looking at Suljin in a situation where he's like, alright, I got 50 stacks, 40 stacks, whatever, and I can absolutely crush it right now. And we're not getting any of this. He's at 6 stacks, and we're already 9, basically 10 minutes into the game. Arthas hasn't completed his level 4 quest yet either. But this is a very, very tough spot for Team Boys to be in. And yeah, this might actually be, I was about to say the end, but they take down Medivh. So Maiev is taken out. They win the fight here. Nicely done. Then they get more. They're trying to chase them, and they will have taunt up in just a moment, but there's also the penetrating round from Reyna, and he keeps the red team at bay and Varian at a distance. Maiev needs another 10 seconds until he's back. The Immortal will spawn soon, so that's the next one. But they're starting to make the play here. Instantly, the counter attempt that we're getting. Yeah, Sonya had to jump out. All right, Sonya jumps back out. Arthas is still on the run, gets fully surrounded. And before Maiev is here, he dies. Staggered deaths, that is the stuff that comebacks are made of. And this is something that they're using beautifully here right now. This is exactly what they need to do. So whenever you have a chance, just come in and try and stagger some kills against the opponent, and you're going to find yourself in a pretty great spot. And that's exactly where we currently are. So now they're attempting to go for Chen again from the looks of it, starting their attack right there. Halftime show is already over on the other hand, so that's the problem. But the blue team is back up on the map with 5, and who knows, might just have a shot here. Push this a little bit further. If they are somehow able to pull it off, not too bad. But they obviously still have a lead in experience. But they lost momentum. And if they can pull it off and take that Punisher, that would be pretty amazing for them. Or that thingy. The Immortal, there we go. World's heart today. Nano boosted Jaina, alright, quest completed for her as well. Is that maybe the turnaround opportunity? Doesn't look like it. She has to ice block, is nearly dead. Sonya wants the kill. She's not the only one. Suljin is the first one to fall. Jimmy is dead. Jaina is dead. It's a massacre. It's an absolute massacre. 4 heroes down. Anna died too. We already have catapults closing in on the core at the bottom of the map and starting to attack the shield. But the Immortal... there is a turnaround. There is a comeback on the objective. Team Zaxi is now going straight for it. They are about to pick up level 16 talents. And this is going to be a big push through the top of the map. So, yeah. Off we go. They have Jimmy back in time for this. They're going to be happy about that. But yep, Jimmy is going to be back just in time for the plays here. And all the way up at the top, this is where it's gonna get real interesting now. Yeah, this one is gonna be big. Can the red team defend? I honestly doubt it a bit. You're basically down 2 levels, you're down a talent. It's a 50% shield on the Immortal. And Suljin has 13 stacks only. He's at 28,000 damage, which isn't too bad. 28,000 damage is pretty okay if you consider that Jimmy with 31,000 is the top damage dealer in the game right now. Then on the other hand, you look towards Maiev and he has also 28,000, so there's that. Matching basically what Suljin has. We try and isolate Maiev, portals out, shield 2, and he's dead! Maiev is gone! Nice! Great play by Chen. Those are exactly the kind of kills that they need in a situation like this. It doesn't change the fact that the keep will fall, but still, that puts a very quick stop to any intended further aggression from Team Zaxi. So the second time now that Maiev gets killed and it shuts down the fight. So good for them. Now, with all of that being done, that means that now the red team can again try to not only get their own level 16 talent, but maybe get some structures themselves, because the issue is still the same. There's not a single fort standing anymore for Team Boys, no keep either. They haven't taken any structures out. And they are massively behind in experience, in kills, and essentially everything that you can measure. So, yeah. Topside fort. They're gonna finally get that. I mean, something. Good for them to at least obliterate one fort. Means a little bit less pressure to the top. But the catapult pressure is still pretty immense. That hasn't really changed. This is still a problem. Now they try to go for Harkness over here. And does he get out? Well, he's alive. They're turning it. They try to kill on Jaina, and they get it. Ice block once again, only delaying things. Now they go for Suljin. Suljin is dead too, and the portal chase is there. This is disastrous for Team Boys. There's also a big wave pushing towards their core. the core is very likely going to lose to Winions in a second if they can't do anything about it. And with only 2 heroes surviving and both of them being on the run, I highly doubt that they're going to be able to do anything here. The catapults are just homing in, getting the damage done. They're going for the next kill. Anna is down. Varian gets attacked. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be game. Team Zugzy here in the winner bracket semi-final in the best of 3 series with a victory on map number 1. Nicely done. Well played on Battlefield of Eternity. GG. We're going to head in game number 2 in a second. Guys, if you enjoy the content, if you like the coverage here, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. It really helps to spread the videos to people that were interested in Heroes of the Storm in the past and might rejoin the game. So spread the love a little bit, help to promote the games here, like and subscribe, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of the series. Map number 2, everybody, Infernal Shrines. So, what are we going to get right now? Team Zugzy with a very solid play and performance in Battlefield of Eternity. I don't want to say easy win for them, but it was definitely a bit of a statement. They lost 1 fort. They lost 1 fort towards the end of the game, but besides that, it was a very clean play, clean performance from them. A couple of moments where Maiev died where it got a bit tricky, but you could really tell that the team played well with Maiev. Have played with him clearly in the past, and if you have a good Maiev player on your team, it can make all the difference. This entire idea of getting some taunts through and going for a sniper comp together with the guillotine on Suljin just never really played out that way. They never really got anything out of it. It took them ages to get into a halfway decent spot around level 10 anyway, so the lead was taken early on by the blue team, but yeah, it got pretty difficult. Now, as we're heading into our second map, there are, of course, a lot of pre-bans. Again, this is a META Madness style tournament hosted by the Polish community. And we have the rule that every hero can only be played once, which means the 10 heroes that were on the previous map can also not be played anymore. So the hero pool is starting to shrink pretty significantly here. And that leads to Amalgana's first pick for game number 2. Then we get Muradin and Deckard Kane over here. If you're watching this on YouTube right now, you can also check all of these heroes and the rules out in the description. I'm going to add it there as well. And of course, as usual, if you watch it on YouTube, give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet. I know that tons of people that are currently watching here have not hit that sub button. And believe me, helps the channel a lot when people subscribe. And of course, even more so when you like the video and watch it to the end, as you should. Promotes it to other potential Heroes of the Storm fans that might have left the scene and could potentially come back. So, yeah, definitely something that you should do if you haven't done it yet. Tigers for Infernal Shrines and Leoric. Pretty standard pick so far, honestly. This is the thing. People are always like saying... Okay, it's a bit of a weird one, because like, I feel like during the Captain's Clash, when we didn't have any draft rules, it was definitely true that we had certain heroes that were played over and over and over again. But people always throw this criticism in where they're saying it's the same 12 heroes. And that's a load of BS. That's definitely not true. You have certain heroes that get played very, very often if there are no draft restrictions at all. But when you think about it, right now we find ourselves in a situation where 35 heroes are already banned out. In addition to that, you have 6 heroes that get banned in the series. That is more than 40 heroes gone. And you look at the drafts, and a lot of the earlier picks, now we're starting to move away from it, but a lot of the earlier picks is still stuff where you're like, yeah, we've seen this. It's actually not that far out of the box. So I think generally speaking, Heroes of the Storm is a game where you have a lot more hero diversity than a lot of people think, because they always see at least, I want to say, 5-6 heroes that are getting either banned or picked in nearly every single game. Then again, to be fair to people that make that statement, of course, with us running a lot of tournaments with the rule set that you can't play heroes more than once, you have the counter example of tons and tons of heroes being played continuously throughout the games, and yeah, then sometimes it can be a little bit weird when heroes can be picked again, like it was the case in the Captain's Clash. And yeah, I mean, Malfurion, Blaze. We all know that those guys are essentially going to be a part of nearly every single game. But yeah, a little bit of a side note here, side tangent, sorry for that. Alarak, Zul, and Lunara, the final picks here on the side of Team Boys. And they have to try and bring this one back. This is going to be a match point for Team Zugzy. If they win here, they move on to the winner bracket final. And, well, let's see if Team Boys can prevent that from happening and force game number 3. Team Zuxi in the lead in the series, and of course, thanks to that, also in a position where they could end it now, move on to the winner bracket final of the tournament, and send Team Boys into the losers bracket. Over on the left side, we got Zuxi himself, the captain of the team, with Tychus. We have Arkunis on Imperius, Harkness is playing Mal'Ganis, Shikish on Leoric, and Al Dante is playing Uther. The solo healer for the team, as over on the right side, the red team, Team Voice, with the captain on Zul. We got Mr. X on Deckard Kane. Halcon is playing Murden. Makto on Lunara. And Arian is on Alarak with overwhelming power as his level 1 choice. So we're not going to get the extended lightning build here, unfortunately. Which is always my favorite because it has a couple of stack talents that are of course fun to watch. You can still check out his sadism and keep an eye on that. Nice combo, but also the immediate counter from Imperius, and all of a sudden it just turns into utter chaos in that team fight. But Alarak is able to move out, does not get killed here. But yep, everybody was all out on the aggression and just went in immediately. And there's of course a lot of tools. I mean, we're talking triple frontline here on the side of the blue team, so that's already something where they can try and dominate in a lot of these fights. And down here, first blood, yep, it's the red team with the first kill of the game. Nice for Team Boys. So, they weren't successful initially in the middle, but now they're taking out Imperius. So Imperius quickly gone, and Zul is already doing the rotation, which allows the rest of the red team to stay at the bottom of the map. Potentially take some of the structures out here. First objective is spawning in the middle this time. Makto. Murder is jumping out. Hop, little dwarf. Lunara. That is a kill. Yes, that's a kill. With Leo moving in, I like the attempt to just try and evade, but it's not happening. And it's not only Lunara that dies, they're also able to take down Alarak. And obviously this now turned into a little bit of an L for them. Initially it looked like they would be able to get their 1 kill and then push the bot lane a bit. But now the rotation of the blue team just a bit too crisp. They get 2 kills out of it and they steal the opponent's camp away. So yeah, looking very, very good here. With that we have an early level 4 for them. Again, tiny advantage, but that was nice. Now, Mal'Ganis with Might of Sargeras right there. We're getting the Pursuit of Justice. I sometimes really want to have some... I don't know if it should be an ult or just like another animation. Like some kind of Hammer of the Gods play from Uther. Where, you know, a massive, massive hammer graphically as an animation just like drops onto a target. It would be kind of fun. You just flatten a target. It would be cool if there were also certain death animations that kick in when you get killed with specific abilities or attacks. That would be kind of nice. I think they could do a lot with that. The ragdoll system is already very enjoyable, but if they would add that too, that would be amazing. Uther, talk about amazing. Uther is somehow still alive. I don't understand how, but he made it. And Mal'Ganis kept them all in their choke point and really did a number of them too. So, not bad. That was actually... Uther surviving is massive. He definitely owes Mal'Ganis a BO or 2 now. That one was well done. But we have the first objective up now. So they can start to make their play here. Objective number 1 is ready for taking. And let's see how much... and which... like how quickly they can get how many of those minion stacks and which team is going to get this eventually. How much can the teams do here? Already the red team is trying to fight for access on the shrine, pushing in, trying to go for Imperius. He could potentially turn it here. Zul is out of mana and out of hit points. Zul is gone. Zul dead. But it will still be interesting to see how this is playing out when he has his level 10. He could get poison over here. Just saying. Had a lot of skeletal mages lately. 22 stacks to 13, but the red team hasn't given up on this yet. They're only down 1 of their heroes, and they are still maintaining a presence on the shrine, whereas the blue team is tapping the fountain before they are starting to re-engage again. So right now, yeah, they can get a few more stacks here, 30 to 23. Blue team is in a great spot, but it's a 5 versus 5 again. 37, they should have it, I mean, for sure. If they can get kills too, that would be amazing for them. Nice zone control from Deckard Kane. Kill attempt against Arkunis. He makes it! and gets finally killed, but there's the counter kill. Zul is also gone, and the Punisher is soon gonna jump if they're not getting out of the way. Anubarak is on the run, very likely gonna get killed too, so yes, he's gone. And now the push in the middle with the Punisher. So yeah, they can do a lot here. I mean, take the wall down at a minimum, get some damage in on the keep, the lead and experience, the talent advantage that they are now running. Team Zaxi is looking fantastic here. And this is, as I said before, their opportunity to close out the series, move on to the winner bracket final, and send Team Voice into the losers bracket. Now, we aren't there yet. And I want to specifically see what happens when we get level 10 abilities. Because in Shrine fights, just generally speaking, level 10, the whole dynamic change that you have there can do a lot for you. To be fair, Tychus also has Odin. So that's also a really, really big tool for fights around the objective that can be used later on by the blue team. 18,000 damage from Lulnara. So yeah, Bambi is getting some damage in. Top damage in the game currently, with Tychus being second place with 15,000. Yep, not that horrible there either. Next little attack is also coming. They're trying again for Anubarak, and he's dead. Now the big problem with Anubarak obviously dying this many times is also that he loses all of the Seism stacks that he might previously have gotten. And that kind of hurts him a little bit. So definitely a problem for them. Currently, we have level 10 for Team Zaxi, and the red team, I don't even know why they're sitting around here. I mean, if there's only one hero going for the camp, then by all means, try and gank up on him and ignore level 10. But that's not the case, so once that they see that, they need to just bail out. They have no chance. Against level 10 abilities, this is something that you definitely should not consider doing. So they have to give up some of their camps. If they don't have to give up an objective, they should count themselves lucky. That's the big question here. But since the objective hasn't been announced yet, the shrine is not up, we are going to get an even talent fight. I suppose there's a possibility of Team Zaxi getting a bit closer to level 13 and maybe get it to in the middle of the fight for Punisher number 2. It's a bit unlikely, but yeah, could happen. Now, attack over here already coming back through with Huracan. Defending against those Khazras. Suljin. There's level 10 for them. And alright, Deadly Charge. Here, by the way, Poison Over, as expected. Poison Over, that alone could be big. Uther is going to have some trouble. I mean, Uther at this point has to heal against Lunara and against the poison that we're getting from Zul. That's not an easy feat. And Lunara went into Thornwood Vines. So this game is not over by any means. It's 6 kills to 2, and of course Team Zaxi was the one fully in the driver's seat up to this point in time. But this isn't over. They are losing, well, they're getting a kill at least. They're losing Suljin, but they're at least getting a counter kill and take down Imperius. The objective is now up, and it's 4 versus 4 on the map. Ult never used from Imperius in that fight at least. So, yeah, here we go. This is gonna be interesting. Okay, still an ult available also for Mal'Ganis, by the way. Uses it. Can they get... Nah, they can't get murdered. But they can force him back, and that's what they did. So Murden gets forced back. He's already on the run. Blue team is trying for the second Punisher, and is on their way as we speak to get themselves an advantage. Zul still sitting at the top. Yeah, he needs to sit there around a bit longer, or they're going to lose the wall and maybe even hit points on the fort. So... can't be with the team for the time being. Will soon join up, but that time frame gives Team Zaxi control over the shrine, and because of that control they are able to get themselves very quickly also the lead, and therefore the Punisher. 7 kills to 3, nearly level 13, again in a great spot. Mass Assassin for Tychus, and since he didn't have to use Odin in the last fight, he just pops it right away at the beginning of the push for the fort. I can always argue that wasn't even necessary, but that should guarantee them the fort. And maybe even the kill. So they can't get Muradin, but there was a bit of a shock moment there for him, I would assume. Now the fort is about to be gone. Leo moves towards the top, dealing with Zul, who's been side lane pushing. And down at the bottom of the map, there's the next play. Now, side laners could be interesting in the next patch as well, because obviously if you're now alone on lane, you can get a boost for your own minion wave when you're pushing for structures. So this could make things very, very interesting. And by the way, scratch that alone on lane, it just means it makes it much easier for you to push for structures when you're trying to push. If obviously there's somebody playing against you, it's not like you're not getting the bonus, it's more so that there will be a defender that can then try to stop you. But a situation like this would be very problematic, I'd say, in the new patch, because then Leo would get even more power out of his minion wave. So we'll have to see how teams will deal with it, but it's one of the more interesting changes in the next patch, I think, because it will force a playstyle adjustment from a lot of teams. XP gathering is also a little bit more difficult, which I wholeheartedly endorse. I think that's great. That makes it so teams can't go for sloppy rotations anymore. I've been talking about this in the past. I recorded a video on this, so again, if you haven't seen it yet, you can go to my YouTube channel and check out the video I did on the PTR patch. We'll see how many of those changes really end up on the live server. It's also a bit annoying, by the way, for Team Boys. They get the kill on Leoric, and they went in hard for it, and then they lose Zul to the fort. That is really annoying. It's a little bit reminiscent of what happened earlier with the blue team. I'm talking about them, they're now going for the fort in the middle. Funnily enough, they haven't been able to take it out yet. They are all getting away here. That Stay a While and Listen did not have the impact that they were looking for. Fort is gone. Muradin gets attacked, but will likely jump out. Yep, he has the cooldown and he instantly retreats. But now we have a 1.5 level lead in total for the blue team, and there's obviously only one fort remaining. To make matters a little bit worse, down at the bottom of the map with the camp and the catapult, the wall is now also gone. And of course the earlier effort. But they are going for all the structures at this point. I mean, damn, they are really cleaning house. They don't even have a talent advantage here. Leo was willing to play the sacrificial lamb for the team and retreated, so he moved out. But yep, well, it's getting tricky. Team Zakuzi might be able to walk away with a 2-0 victory here. Let's see how the red team reacts to it. They're trying to force fights before level 16. Here comes the Entomb though, and immediately the Poison Nova. This is a big one. I mean, look at alone how low Tychus is currently. And Tychus is actually going to die to this. Yep, more poison activated. I think it was Lunara popping hers. And that eliminates one of the damage dealers. They're trying to go for Alarak. Alarak gets racked, but Imperius falls too. They still get another kill. Azul dies again. He came, he saw, he died. Veni, Vidi, Vici. So now it's a 3 versus 3 on the map. But Mal'Ganis is just absolutely crushing it. Honestly, he's been doing so much here. Leo is gone once more. Activating his trade. Totally useful. 44,000 damage for Lunara. And 31,000 for Tychus. But look at Mal'Ganis. Mal'Ganis is currently the second highest damage dealer on the blue team side. And you can tell. I mean, some of the previous fights that we've seen, he did fantastic. He did incredibly well there. So, this is a big one to also consider. Over on the left side, well, we now have the next camp taken. It is a top lane shrine though. Both teams are on level 16 talents now. We can't catch anyone here yet. 100 sadism still for Alarak. Again, he died too much. They try to go for Tychus, it's not happening. They're not get him this easily. Not this time. So here's the Poison Nova again. Fountain already popped. Delivery system from Imperius, and they get the Alarak kill. Lots of poison damage from Lunara though. I mean, she is going ham on this, but they're just not able to get kills. They're losing Zul again. It's 12 kills to 7 now, and the third hero is about to fall as they're moving in for Muradin and for Lunara. Bambi in trouble, gets the mace to the face from Leoric, and that is Lunara gone. They're losing Deckard Cain, and only Muradin survives. And now they can leave Leo on the shrine, push with the rest of the team, and just try and get themselves the wall at the top, and maybe even that keep now. So yeah, that's another big one. Try and move in to claim the first keep of the game. And it should be a pretty straightforward play as well, because this is a frozen Punisher and the wall is already gone. They're also 5-manning this one hard. There's no split towards the middle of the bot lane in order to deal with experience or maybe try and escort some minion waves onto the next structure. No, they have hopes that they can even end the game here. And it's not that unrealistic. If you are able to get a kill, 2 missing is already shutting down those chances a little bit. But if you can follow up on a Punisher stun, then you can do exactly this. Kill Zul again and try and build on it. Zul died 7 times. Alarak died 5 times. Zul died 7 times. Muradin didn't die once. And now with the help of that frozen Punisher, bam, Keep's gone. Keep is gone. Muradin is jumping out. In comes... Oh, he tried the ult. Mal'Ganis tried his ult and it didn't work out for him. Gets interrupted. And therefore the entire play falls apart. So now they get the keep. But they don't get more than that. Keep is all that they're able to grab here. Now, they're going to get the experience in the middle, of course. But still, kind of amusing that Mal'Ganis actually died there. Uther is the only one that hasn't fallen yet. Uther is the only one that did not die yet. 16, we get blind as a bat here. We have 20 talents obviously coming in just a moment. Yeah, Stormbolt again. They're trying to turn it. Keep in mind, this is a 5 versus 4 on the map. But Muradin has to pop his avatar. And also needs to be a little bit careful here. He hits another Stormbolt. But the team is still able to get away. And Leo is also ghosting out. Yeah, he gets the heal. I was about to say that he might actually die to Lunara activating her poison. But nope, Uther is right there. And he's able to prevent that from happening. So, yeah, good for Uther. Keeping everybody in play. But now level 20. Ah, level 20. Yeah, once that you have those storm talents, that's going to be a big advantage. A 2-level gap, basically. And it will most likely affect the last objective. Zul with 150,000 siege damage now. 66,000 for Lunara. Hero damage, 53,000 for Tychus. And I just take every single camp on the map. Redemption for Uther. And big red button. The unrelenting descent. That's what we're getting from Imperius. And also alone in the dark. So. Camp is still taken. Yeah, a little bit too late. Would have been fun for them if they could have actually stolen it. But yeah, that camp is still there. Now, in the middle, that's where things are going to heat up a bit. Oh, but very nice defense. Very well done. Good combo. Great stun from Muradin here too. So both of them super low. Leo's coming in with the soap. Tries to clean out the trash here. First of all, that little wisp from Lunara gets eliminated. And now they're sieging up on the next keep. One keep is already taken out. They want to go for number 2. Muradin eats a lot of damage here. Buried Alive gets used. Leo moves out again. Trapped them quite nicely, but needs to do more if he really wants to help them get some additional kills. So I have to give some credit to Team Boys. They're extremely resilient in game number 2 now. They are doing the best that they can in order to not die, not fall, get to level 20, and it's a pretty solid effort. They also had this camp lined up at the top lane very early, which then immediately led to a position where they were able to basically nearly destroy that fort. It's not quite gone yet, so that's the problem. Zul might actually do this, because the big issue is, of course, that Team Voice is not spawning a single catapult on their minion waves, and the red team is able to get catapult after catapult through the top lane, and eventually this is going to destroy the core if they're not careful here. We're already 18 minutes into the game. So Zul wanted to push this, but he gets punished for his aggression. They move towards the top and they took him out. Now, the flip side is that at the bottom of the map there is still the fountain, the objective that's fully up and running. But in a 5 versus 4 situation, I think there's a good chance that Team Boys will just have to move away from it. Because they're not there yet. If they really want to fight this out, then it gets interesting, because that will be an uphill battle for them. If they can somehow pull it off, fantastic, but I just don't see it. And 2 misses on the other hand. They're going for Muradin, and it is Imperius that falls. Okay, now it's a 4 versus 4. That changes things a little bit. There is a big push still through the top lane with that minion wave, but now the red team has a fight on their hands. They're getting Leo, and they take the Punisher. Guys, I don't know what to tell you, but we are potentially seeing a comeback here. This could normally be construed as a bit of a problem, but Zul is back in 5 seconds, so this is not going to damage the core. Zul will deal with it before he goes anywhere. And what we're seeing at the bottom of the map now is just a push for the first fort that Team Voice is going to take out. So it's an interesting situation that we already find ourselves in. I honestly thought that the blue team would just easily walk away with it, considering how things were going. But this could change it. Lunara also with 4 the Wildlands. Rather newish edition on 20. You might have not seen it before. We don't have that many Lunara games here in competitive play. He has already the Divine Shield. Attempting to defend. Zul isn't here yet, but here comes Deckard Kane. Stay a while and get wrecked. Double kill. Mal'Ganis and Leo both down. Imperius down, and Uther is dead too. He has redemption and will be back, but I think we might look... I think this might be a game. I think this might actually be a game. 2 heroes have to try and defend. There are 2 catapults now on the core, but I doubt that that's going to be enough. So over on the left side, the Punisher is still alive and kicking, and they are moving in now to try and win on Infernal Shrines to force the 3rd map, and they pull it off. What a comeback here! Team Voice with a great comeback on in game number 2. GG, well played. Coming up next, we have game number 3 for you guys. Before we go, a big shout out to everybody that is supporting the channel on patreon.com/Khaldor. Really appreciate the support, guys. Thank you very, very much. If you want to support the channel, if you want to support our efforts to keep the Heroes of the Storm esports scene live with all of the events and tournaments that we're hosting, then please consider to check out patreon.com/Khaldor and support the channel there. It's the best way to support all of the things that we're currently doing for the scene and plan to do in the future. With that being said, enjoy the next game of the series. Final map. Seems like we're going the distance on this one. We are still in the winner bracket semifinal. The winner will move on to the winner bracket final, and the loser drops down into, you guessed it, the losers bracket. Hey! So, 10 more heroes that can't be played, and now we're going to Volskaya Foundry. I honestly don't know what exactly they like that much about Volskaya Foundry, so it's kind of interesting to me. Also, for the people on YouTube, I actually talked about this on Twitch just a second ago, but it was interesting. I was in Germany a few days ago for Gamescom. I hosted like a big event for Asus, and on the rehearsal day, I parked in a parking spot with my rental car that had a limited time parking. And I thought, alright, no problem, by that time I'm easily back. But the rehearsals went way longer than expected, and when I came back to the car, I got a ticket. And so now the rental company forwarded me my parking ticket. And just them forwarding the parking ticket costs me 30 euros. The parking ticket itself is 40 euros. So I knew I had the ticket, I knew I have to pay it. I mean, my mistake, obviously. But it just blows my mind how big these fees are. I mean, again, they are not doing nothing but forwarding the ticket, and for that they demand nearly the same amount as I have to pay for the ticket itself. They make so much money with this stuff, it's crazy to me. It's absolutely nuts. I mean, you have things like this also with banks. I think there should be some regulations on how high certain fees can be. Now, it's not the biggest money in the world, it's like fine, and again, was obviously my mistake. I should have realized when I ran over the time and gone back and renewed it. But it's just absolutely nuts to me how big some of these fees are that companies can demand from you. So, yeah. It was just a bit of a curiosity, honestly. I was just thinking, I was like, wow, that's actually, like, nuts. But in our game here, talking about nuts, we have some pretty nut picks right now. We got Nazebo. He was actually banned in one of the previous games on Volskaya Foundry very early because they wanted to avoid this specific situation. So Nazebo picked early, trying to get into the late game with Valla Infection. Tyrael plus Junkrat in addition to that. And then we get ETC and Thrall on the other side. Now, the deal with ETC is that he can obviously also be played in the side laner situation right now. So, yeah, that's one. Could be the main tank, but you can play him with stage dive, as we've seen before, and just have that flexibility by picking him early. So there's that thing. With Thrall, it could then be a triple frontline too, but let's see how they play this out. For support, we get a ban on Auriel. Nazebo, again, I want to see how much of an impact Nazebo has right now. Nazeebo is a fun now when he makes it into the late game. Usually when one team picks Nazeebo, the other team knows that they're a little bit on the timer and they have to push. Might be one of the reasons why now both Sylvanas and also Zagara have been banned, because both of them are fantastic to accelerate the game a little bit and try and take structures down early. So we'll see what else is available for Team Voice to grab. Lily! Lily and Cassia! Okay! Fair enough. I did not see the Lily pick coming. Lily was obviously in the last patch buffed a little bit in the sense that her heal is now stronger. The big problem with Lily always is and always was, though, that you cannot direct the heal. There's some people that, some bronzies that always jump in. It's like, oh, you can! You just have to position properly! I was like, yeah, that's not how it works on competitive play. That just exposes you to a very quick death. But yeah, picking Lily over someone like Malfurion and all the other supports that are still up is actually a bit nuts to me. She hasn't been played a lot after the changes in the patch. I think I've seen her twice, and she didn't really do all that well. I think she won one of the games, but you could really tell that they were still struggling keeping heroes alive. So maybe here, who knows? Maybe Mr. X is able to really bring the difference with her. But what's the last pick? Are they maybe going for some kind of double support? And they don't. They go for Gazlo. I mean, damn. Lily solo heal plus Gazlo. Alright. Somebody is going completely off the reservation here. Ladies and gentlemen, final map, game number 3. Well, Sky Foundry. And off we go, game number 3. So, we got Aldant on Malfurion, Shikish on Urel for the blue team, Zaxi is playing Junkrat, we got Harkness on Tyrael, and Akunis on Nazeebo. Now we gotta do those a little bit manually here. Voice is playing Cassia, we got Makto on Gazlo, Mr. X on Zul, Thrall gets played by Halcon, and then we got Arian on ETC. That was a little bit of a weird start into the game for me, honestly. One of my overlays just refused to adjust the score. But it is indeed the third game, and the score is tied. So it took a few more seconds, but we're finally now here and ready to go. And see which team locks in the victory on Volskaya Foundry. Now, with that said and done, we got all the way down at the bottom of the map. Urel already sitting tight here. But, yeah, off we go. Harkness is starting to move in. And down at the bottom of the map, still the 1v1, but up at the top, damn, they are pushing. Alright. So, yeah, they are pushing this pretty heavily. Down to the bot lane. That is still more or less a stalemate, but we now have also Nazeebo moving in again. I mean, when it comes to Nazeebo, I talked about it in the draft. First of all, he was not banned and therefore picked first immediately. He's still a fantastic tool to have, especially since, of course, so many heroes have been banned out in this game. We got Thing of the Deep on level 1, which makes things a little bit easier for yourself. And he will try and rotate between the lanes as much as possible. It's all about the late game now for the blue team. They want to get Violent Infection, and they want to use that as their killing blow, so to say. The final nail into the coffin of Team Voice. That's kind of the idea of all of this. I mean, at this point, we are looking at, yeah, Thrall not stacking. You could have always argued for Trash Lightning, I suppose. Went for the Trolling Thunder, as most Thrall players do. And with Nazeebo now joining the rotation wherever he can, we're going to get Arkunis in an attempt to get to his 175 stacks as fast as he can. Now, for Urel, we got Eagles of Light in. We got the quest for Thrall on level 4, so he goes straight into the Frost Wolf pack. But the blue team is already doing pretty alright here in the early game. As I said before, they have an interest to slow the game down a little bit. If they get an objective, fantastic. If they can get some kills, even better. So, yeah, they get the Root of Doom. Nice! Don't tell me they all survive. Wow. I am a little bit shocked. It feels like some people were grieving a little bit here and did not properly attack, because after that Root connected, I mean, that should have been a kill, right? I mean, 100%. After the Root connected, they needed to get a kill or two on this. But, well, that didn't happen. So now they're trying to defend at the top. We have already 42 stacks now for Nazeebo. He is very happy with how this game is running so far. Arkunis is having a great time here. 50 stacks, 3 minutes in. Easy, my friend. Easy. And then, of course, you always have the reward with the extra spell power that you're going to get. The range as well. That is... I mean, range increase alone gives you way more safety than you would normally have. So this is quite nice. And the added spell power. it's just overall a fantastic tool. I remember the days when this was introduced and you had, I think, a 30% increase of spell power, and it was so obvious that it was insanely OP and just crazy. And there were still a couple of, you know, Nazebo mains that were just sitting there and like talking about like, this is totally balanced. And I was like, yeah, sure, bro. But yeah, so Blizzard at some point realized, okay, that we might have gone a little bit overboard with that new talent, so how about we reduce it slightly? And for now, we are looking at progress in favor of the blue team too. So if they take the first protector here away, then it can't be used by Team Voice as a tool to maybe accelerate the game a little bit and take some of the structures out. And Nazebo is of course very happy to just simply continue the process here. 61 stacks for now, went on level 7 into the Dead Rush. So going full zombie on us with that. Yeah, Zombies immediately also rings a bell with the latest Wednesday episodes. The second season is now out. If you haven't watched it yet, again, check it out. From all the shows that we've seen recently, Wednesday definitely one of the better ones. It's maybe a little bit too much into the young adults genre, especially when you're looking at the second part of the season. But overall, the character, really a lot of fun. The performance of Jenna Ortega is great, and yeah, the character is just fantastic. Super sassy, mega sarcastic. So it's not the best series of all times or anything, but if you're looking for something, for an easy watch after a tough day, then I can definitely recommend it. So if you haven't seen it yet, Wednesday is a decent one. But again, you have to obviously like the style of the genre a little bit. So there's that. When you're more into the real horror stuff, then I suppose that Weapons that should still be in the theaters is probably the best recommendation at this point. Now, with the walls slowly being destroyed, also partly thanks because of the protector that we have here, the blue team is pulling ahead without even utilizing late game Nazebo. And we have 86 stacks for Nazebo, so there's no real doubt in my mind that we're going to get him with enough stacks on level 20 that he can go straight in for his Valiant Infection pick. But he might die here. He should die here, and I think he will die here. The stun is just too much. I mean, they are... Whoa, no way. No freaking way. He gets out with 11 hit points. And what a juke. I mean, seriously. Juke City. Your Mayor Arkunis is safe and sound. He made it through all of that. There's 4 heroes chasing him, and he somehow gets out. Judgment is now in. Zaxi gets saved. Malfurion hasn't even picked yet. Sundering is in, but holy hell. I mean, some of the stuff here. Only a single kill in the game. We talked in the draft a lot about Lily, so let's take a quick look at her talents. Free drinks, I'm a big fan of those. We got Surging Winds, and then let's go with Jug of 1,000 Cups as her ult. Lily as a support is definitely something I didn't expect in game number 3 of a series like this. It's more of a game 5 pick, even though this is of course a best of 3, so we are on the final map indeed. We got Twilight Dream, Nazebo at 100 stacks, also completing his level 1 quest, so even more spell power for him. And he went straight into the Ravenous Spirit. Yeah, I'm a little bit ravenous too. I could eat a burger or two, maybe even a pizza. Oh, yeah, making me hungry again. Quest completed for Thrall. Job well done by Halcon. Well done here, but they are on the run right now. And Gazlo is currently not with him. It's such a great game. I mean, we got Nazebo, Gazlo, and Lily. They try for Urel, pops the ult, tries to jump out, and bye-bye. Bye-bye. That's the end of Urel. Quick heal from Lily. Yeah, totally fine over here. But that is actually the first kill for Team Voice, and only the second kill in this entire game. Now, Nazebo still quite happy with what's going on here. Ooh, they're getting some serious damage onto Thrall as well. Judgment! And rip it up, baby! Yeah, that Judgment was something that caught them off guard a little bit, and for good reason. The Riptire coming in didn't immediately ring alarm bells, but once that you see Tyrael coming in and you see Judgment being used, that's obviously when you know, okay, there's a kill incoming. So, very nicely synced up. That gets them the kill on Thrall. Second kill for Team Zaxi. And they're going for the next one. Cassia, Lily, they're all dead and gone. Even with the healing beacon that was used. And this exposes the bottom fort completely and will likely lead to its destruction. 22,000 damage for Junkrat. We got 24,000 for Cassia. But again, keep Nazeebo in mind. If this game makes it to 20, if Nazeebo takes his Viral Infection, his damage numbers are going to spike hard. For now it's 13 versus 13. And we have 135 stacks already for Nazeebo. So, yep, he is gonna look great there. Went on level 4 straight into the big voodoo. So, big improvements also. I mean, doubling the rewards that he gets for all of this. He is going to become an absolute monster if all of this continues. Lily, in the meantime, with the Gale Force, a little bit of synergy with the level 4 talent that she picked initially. And yeah, at the top with the next protector up for grabs. It was actually the blue team that was making a move for it. Mr. X is now trying to get control with Zul. So they are playing for the objectives a little bit at least. We're 9 minutes in, nearly 10, so it's not like they're prioritizing them heavily or anything of the sorts. But they are at least making a few moves on that end. 25 stacks for... there's the party! But nobody gets caught. Judgment as they're trying to turn the fight. And can they? There's a Twilight Dream from Malfurion, alright. Junkrat. Nazeebo is coming slowly in. So they force them back with the ults. They weren't able to do a whole lot with it. And Nazeebo still getting a few additional stacks in. Drops the toads. Drops his zombies. And is at 150 stacks right now. So... yeah, the objective still being fought for. Down at the bottom of the map, the catapult is already attempting to go for the wall here. There's still a 1 level advantage, so a level 16 talent is soon going to be ready. And Nazeebo hasn't been killed once. His stacking is going extremely well. There's nothing to really shut him down, so now he's making the play for the next minion wave, and that puts him to 160. So he is about to hit the threshold for Viral Infection. And Team Voice is, in my opinion, at least playing this a little bit too slow. They need to do something. You can't just simply sit there and let Nazeebo do his thing the entire game. He will punish you in the late game. He's probably the best scaling hero that we have in the game. I'm currently thinking about who else scales well into the late game. There's a couple, of course. Illidan is strong late game. Valla with an auto-attack build too. But I don't think that anybody really comes close to Nazeebo. I guess to an extent it's a point of preference and personal opinion. But Nazeebo already delivers a lot in the earlier stages where you don't have too much of a liability on your team. And now in the late game, he should be able to just absolutely destroy. Now, we'll see how this works out. But for now, the blue team is already doing a fantastic job. We have with 16 now the Ring of Poison. We have another protector for the blue team. This time they're trying for another fort. And the mosh pits are not hitting anything. ETC, he should take a shower because they can smell him from a mile away and just get out of the mosh pit. Finally kill against Nazeebo at least, so the mosh pit might not have connected. It was a zoning mosh, obviously a zoning mosh. So it didn't quite work out, but they still got a kill, and they got 2 of them. They got Nazeebo and they got Urel. They might even be able to take down Tyrael. I doubt it a little bit. He's easily moving away from this, and even if he gets exposed, he has his own mobility that should allow him to escape. But we are now getting kills for Team Voice. And one of them was against Nazeebo, slowing his stacking down a bit further. But considering that we're nearly on level 17 now, and there's 2 forts missing on the red team side. And now ETC gets killed. Tyrael makes it out, and they're saving their fort. So, yep, that is... oh, Judgment. Actually, they have follow-up. They try, but that was more or less a Sudoku move that we got here and nothing else. So they go for the explosion, and no! They actually get the kill! Thrall gets destroyed. Nicely done. That was actually pretty cool. Okay, they were able to go in with the zombie wall and everything else and take Thrall out, so I suppose they're still trading. They were trading Tyrael for Thrall. Not too bad. And now we got Nazeebo up at the top. Yep, dropping another ring, dropping a couple of spiders, and he already moved past the threshold. So we're going to see Viral Infection here, for sure. And he is going to just simply try and stack this up the more he can. The better, of course, for his survivability. And for his sustain there. So, yeah, Akunis is looking really darn strong now. And we'll take a look at his level 20 and then the damage output. So far, it's nothing to write home about. 22,000, that's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. Gets him into rank 5 or 6 or something in the game. And he is 20,000 away from what Cassia is bringing. So Cassia is nearly doubling the Zeebo's damage. But once that we have level 20, whew, then this is likely going to change. For now, the same MO is just being used. He's just moving from lane to lane. Can, of course, still stack his baseline. And is doing exactly that. But ETC, a little bit of a party here, but also a massive attack. Lili with the ult gets interrupted by Judgment. And the Riptire comes through. They're trying to go for an isolation move. Gazlo, Sundering, nice! And the end of Urel, who didn't have the cooldown on her ult anymore. Now they go for ET. See ya! He is gone. So that's a counter kill. It's a trade, 1-for-1. And we're on level 19. 20 is inching closer and closer. And so far, Team Voice has just not done a lot in order to take this. 7 kills, 2-5. Yeah, 205 stacks now for Nazebo, and they're continuing with the play against Cassia. But Lili is there. Lili is there with the heals. And in a situation like this, she is getting the heal numbers out very, very quickly, of course. So we get another control point, this time at the bottom of the map. Half a level lead, a little bit more for Team Zaxi. But, yeah, the damage output right now, let's have a look. So, 52,000 for Junkrat. 59,000, let's make it 60, for Cassia. And look at Nazebo. Nazebo's at 32,000, so he's 20,000 damage behind. And let's see how this is going to play out now that he gets level 20. So this is where it's going to get interesting. Nazebo comes in, bam, Vile Infection right there. And now he's going to focus way more on those hero battles. We also get the Angel of Justice. The red team is picking up their own level 20. And it's kind of funny to me that the blue team is still saying like, we need this objective. Yeah. They want that protector. I mean, to be fair, that thing scales, of course, too. So, next camp gets taken. That means another turret in their hands. Zebo in the middle. Got the vision there. And nice kill. Urel is getting farmed a little bit, isn't she? Yeah, they're getting some very nice damage in on Urel, I have to say. And those attacks are extremely well coordinated. She had no chance to pop her ult. Oh, the slide and ice block. Yes, the Zebo. The Sundering. And he gets killed. They did a ton of work to get that kill. But that's how you win games like this. You take the Zebo out so he can't do any damage. And then you capitalize while he's dead. I mean, they pulled everything in order to trap him in front of the gate. The coordination was great, and towards the end it looked for a moment like he would still be able to escape, but not so fast. It feels like Team Voice is doing the same thing they did in game number 2, doesn't it? They again are in the late game, they win that oh so important fight, take the Zebo down early, and now they go for the key, but I don't think they can end this here. The minion wave is already gone. If they can slow them down, I mean 20 seconds until the Zebo is back, it's nuts. I mean, come on. Nazebo gets to an easy level 20 with full stacks, and now they go for the core. This is insane. Cassia is dead, so that's a good move to stop them. Lili is dead. They can't end here. They can't end. It's too much. They won't be able to end this. That's ETC gone. They have only 2 attackers left. Gazlo is about to die, and Thrall just doesn't have what it takes to end the game. 37 gets Sundering out. 33. In comes the 5-man team wipe. And now, of course, the move straight over towards the bottom right. It's a little bit of a sad story for us because I was absolutely prepared for Nazebo to rip things up a bit and really skyrocket his damage numbers. But now we're probably not even going to say that because we're having Team Zaxi just crossing the map and very likely going to try and make a play for the game itself. We have the objective at the bot lane taken. Tyrael has claimed it, but this keep is already low. And of course, in addition to that, we're now also looking at a situation where Nazebo can do even more damage to structures, and he is just burning those down. Protector isn't even here in time. So they go for the core. 6 seconds for Cassia. Not quite sure if Cassia is going to be able to maybe... No, the shield is already gone. Forget it. It's not happening. Team Zaxi with a victory against Team Voice at 2-1 as they move on to the grand final and drop the red team into the loser's bracket. GG.